tell me one good thing about Japan and one thing that's not so great.
Rubbish bin around here.
Not speak English is very hot.
There are various different fighting styles.
During summertime when it's very humid and hot.
Now I've been in your personal space.
A little bit.
Okay. Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's your flashy fashion reporter Kathy Cat, and today we've come here to Ariake Gym for EVO Japan, the world's biggest fighting tournament. So let's go and ask the foreigners here what they think is good or bad about Japan. Let's go and ask Japanese. Tell me one good thing you saw in Japan now, and one maybe not so good thing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, she's like you keep the news in our blogs. And she cried alone. And yeah, not sure. She thinks she likes everything. No bad points which she can say about Japan. Overall, she likes everything so far.
日本の好きなところ一つと日本の好きじゃないところ一個ずつピックアップしてください。I like the weather, culture, favorite culture, and I don't like there's just some rubbish bin around here. Too little. Yeah,
Not enough trash cans, and we're losing your nails here.
Okay, it's okay. Girls' nails always missing.
What do you love about Japan?
Oh, in Japan I love video games, I love food, eat some sushi, some onigiri, some ramen, and drink some beer.
Wow. And one thing that you don't love?
Cannot speak English is very hot. And in Gundam base, it's very hard to buy something because you can buy only one item, one special item by day.
Only one item.
Yeah, only one special item. So and you can buy only 10 items. So if you want to take some gunpla to make some gift, it's
You have to come the next day.
yes.
So strict rules.
Yeah, very.
So tell me one good thing about Japan and one thing that's not so great.
It's insanely easy to get around Japan without a car, which is wonderful. Love the public transportation.
The new country needs car culture.
Definitely car culture. We don't really have much public transportation where I am in California. You have to have a car to get anywhere. And I live in a beach town, so like you have to drive 45 minutes to even get to like the next town. So
So you can't walk and there's not much train?
no trains at all. Only buses, and very, very spare. Like not very many buses at all.
In comparison, how was it to take the train here?
It's so easy. It's so nice and so easy that you can just like load up your Passmo and then just click on when you want to get on and click off when you want to get off. It's great.
日本の好きなところとちょっと嫌なところは？
好きなところはそのアニメのそのグッズが買うことがとても安い。そしてその嫌いところは多分電車乗るときはとても混んでいる場合もあります。そしてちょっとまあその人と人でそしてこうやってぶつかって私は嫌いです。
Give me one good thing and one bad thing about Japan.
The good thing is actually the martial art. That's what I love about Japan is there are various different fighting styles, and even in one nation, how different styles splintered off. From, let's say, karate, there's so many different styles of karate that splintered off from when it was started in Okinawa to when it came to mainland Japan. Jiu-jitsu is completely different from what it is in Brazil. But it's still a part of the culture of how like the samurais used jiu-jitsu when they weren't armed with a sword. And so they developed grappling arts to try to take someone's weapon away from them or hold them down on the ground in submissions.
How long have you been doing karate and such? How long have you been doing martial arts? And which ones have you been doing? How has Japan influenced that?
I actually started with Taekwondo because back in the day, we didn't know the difference between Taekwondo and karate. We just saw kicking and punch, like, oh, it's karate. And then once I learned more about the different cultures, so then I looked into karate and I looked into jiu-jitsu, not knowing that there was also a different style of jiu-jitsu that's in Brazil. Also being a fan of, Japanese culture, I looked more into Kyokushin karate, which was the style that Ryu was influenced by in Street Fighter. And Jin Kazama from Tekken is also directly motion captured in Kyokushin karate. So that's the style I mainly focus on.
Well, now that you do karate yourself, if you play fighting games, do you see moves that oh, I can do that?
Yeah, especially the moves they directly motion capture. Like I said, Jin Kazama was directly motion captured by a former Kyokushin champion. So those moves that he does is actually what they teach me in class.
Anything that's not so great.
It's not that it's not so great. It's just something that was hard for me to get used to, and that was like how people will just kind of like cram onto the train, and like all of a sudden everyone's in your personal space, and America's like really big on personal space. So I'm like, oh, so many people are touching me that I don't know, and we're all okay with it. Okay, we're all fine. It's okay. That was hard to get used to. Just all of a sudden, like being like crowded in.
Personal space. Am I already in your personal space?
No, you're not touching me. So
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay, good. Now I can be in your personal
Yeah,
space?
a little bit.
Okay. So how did you overcome that?
It was just more like, getting myself used to it and prepared for it. And I'm like, okay, that train is really, really packed. We're going to be really, really packed. Everybody's going to be really close together. We got to do it. We're just going to go.
Get through it.
Just get through it. Just get through it.
Tell me one great thing about Japan and one not so great thing about Japan.
Everyone is absolutely supremely kind. They're just very respectful. It makes visiting a foreign country much easier.
What else? What else do you like?
What do I like? Food is extremely inexpensive. So I've just been, ramen every day, and sushi here and there. It's fantastic.
Oh, is the ramen and the sushi for the workout?
Yes. Trim diet of only ramen and sushi.
That's how you get fit, apparently.
The good thing about Japan is I think that people are very polite and the way people receive you, how I was welcomed, and like giving some of my first concerts in Japan. And one not so great thing about Japan, it's a bit of a controversial opinion, but I would really say one thing that can be good, but in other contexts can really work is about tatemae.
Tatemae, to those who don't know what tatemae is, like keeping face, kind of like your true self and the facade that you kind of put up in front of customers.
I think that for businesses and for shops of people that you don't know, it is good. But I think that for people in their relationships, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to classmates, when it comes to couples even, I think that not really saying what you feel inside is not good, because I think that conflict delay is conflict multiplied. And so I think that in order to make better relationships, we need to be trained to talk about hard things too. That's my take on it.
And as for things I don't know. I mean, it's extremely busy. So like getting into those train stations can be a little hectic. But I've managed to get around okay. So at least there are signs in English, and I've managed pretty well.
Okay, so without the signs, you would have been lost?
Probably. I still use a little bit of the Google Maps. It was pretty helpful. But yeah, the signs were very helpful. So I might have been trying to match symbols, which sounds really helpful and is really tricky, but I think I would have figured it out.
What do you mean with match symbols?
God, looking at like kanji and trying to figure out what one I'm looking for. So like, there's a man holding skis next to the picnic table. Okay, guys, that's the sign I gotta look for, so let me see if I can find that.
So you just made up little stories for each kanji?
Whatever kind of reminded me of something.
Can you think of anything that's not so great?
The only thing today is like getting lost in the subway, but I think that's just my unfamiliarity. Even though they do say it in English, transferring from one line to the other, I had trouble getting here. I had to ask a few people to know where I was going. Because I think in New York, it's only one subway system. So you stay in one line and you could switch whenever. So in this one, I didn't know, like every line is kind of like different. You have to tap in and out with the card. Subway line that I didn't know. So I kind of got lost in that. That was the only thing off the top of my head, just because coming here was a bit tricky.
One good thing and one bad thing about Japan. One good thing at the events here, like EVO, Japanese people are actually very calm. So even if they lose a game, they don't lose their mind, which means they don't take the board and smash it or that kind of things. It's very peaceful and is good sportsmanship, even though it is an esports type tournament and event. So that's a good thing. And a bad thing right now, the yen is so weak right now. It makes it really hard for us here living and working in Japan because the yen is so weak. And honestly, just if I need a hotel somewhere right now to like book in advance of a shoot, it is very hard for me to pay that because the prices have gone up fivefold. It feels like fivefold. It's very hard, very hard. So hopefully the yen will get stronger. Please, yen, get stronger. All right, there are more things that Japanese people and also foreigners have told us about Japan, and it's their true opinions. Check out this video here for more, and I catch you soon on Ask Japanese. Thanks for checking us out.